Ladies and gentlemen, on the back of a Bitcoin ETF being announced, Bitcoin has finally put in a brand new all-time high. What does this mean for the rest of this potential bull market? Folks, in this video, I want to share some price prediction scenarios with Bitcoin. I want to share some of the factors I'm considering when trying to gauge when it might be time to take profits. And I also want to talk about what this means for the state of the altcoin market. So folks, plenty to discuss in this video. Make sure if you like the sound of that to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. And without further ado, let's delve into it. So folks, I want to make it very clear that now that Bitcoin has entered price discovery and a second leg of this crypto bull market is now very possible, just understand that I do believe that this second leg of the bull market is going to be somewhat short-lived. I fully expect there to be only a couple months left for gains to be made in this market before we really start to enter the overextended territory. And the more time goes on, the closer we get to a potential beginning of a bear market. So before we delve into some price predictions and what this most recent move means for the altcoin market, I first want to delve into some of the things I'll be looking out for to understand when to possibly take profits on Bitcoin. Well, folks, looking at our indicators here, we can see that once we started to see bearish divergence on the RSI on the daily, that was kind of a take profit signal that, Bitcoin was getting weak and we should probably maybe start taking some profits. As we can see here, whenever we start to see higher highs in price action paired with lower highs on the RSI, that was basically just telling us that it's a matter of time before the bears take over and we see a major correction. So folks, next time we start to see higher highs in Bitcoin price action paired with lower highs in the RSI, hey, might be time to perhaps start taking some profits. As well, folks, one of the factors I'm considering when trying to gauge when to take profits on Bitcoin is the net unrealized profit and loss chart, the NUPL. This chart essentially just measures what percentage of the supply held is in profit. And whenever we enter this blue euphoria zone, it has historically meant too many people are making too much money too fast and the growth is unsustainable. So next time we get to that blue euphoric zone or very close to it, it might be a good time to start taking some profits on Bitcoin. Not financial advice, but we can see historically the power of cycle indicators such as this one. Now, folks, these are just a couple of the factors that I'm considering when trying to time engage when a possible top of this bull market might be. Now, if you guys are interested in more of an in-depth analysis, then I invite you to become my VIP Discord member. You get access to our Patreon. Link for that is down in the description below, where we delve more into depth as to the things we're considering when trying to formulate a take profit strategy. Now let's get to some of the good stuff, some of the fun price predictions. So folks, look, nobody knows for sure how high Bitcoin is going to go, and these numbers that I'm about to share with you guys are frankly my best effort at a best guess. Nobody really knows these things for sure, and I'm not taking these numbers to the bank. I'm going to be taking profits based off the market, price action, cycle indicators, that kind of thing. So I'm not going to wait for some kind of arbitrary price target to be hit before I start to take profits. I'm going to read the market and take profit once the market tells me and shows me we're seeing signs of overextension and exhaustion to the upside. So that being said, I think through a simple Fibonacci extension, I think a case could be made that, hey, maybe we see a Bitcoin going all the way up to over $125,000. Maybe a bit more optimistic, we could even see a Bitcoin going up to right about $190,000. And just so you good folks know, the way I drew this Fibonacci extension is quite simple. You draw a Fibonacci extension from the bottom of the latest impulse. This was the March 2020 crash to the top of the latest impulse to the bottom of the retracement. And that gives you some fib levels that are very likely to act as support and resistance. So again, folks, I'm not taking these numbers to the bank. I will be taking profits and selling my positions based on some of the factors I previously mentioned, not arbitrary random price targets that may or may not be met. Now, in the short term, folks, I mean, we are seeing slight bearish divergence on the 4-hour, but I wouldn't really take this to the bank. It's totally possible that we could have a pullback now in the short term, but I think as long as Bitcoin remains above $54,000, there's not a whole lot to be worried about. And given that we've put in a new all-time high, any kind of pullback at this point would just be healthy, and I would still fully expect Bitcoin to get pretty close to $100,000 by around the end of the year is my best guess. Now, something else to be very aware of is whenever Bitcoin is pumping in the short term, and especially when it's about to enter price discovery, it really starts to draw a lot of attention away from the altcoin market, and especially a lot of money as well. So a lot of the money will flow into Bitcoin in the short term, negatively impacting the altcoin market through a lot of the pairings. Because let's say, for example, your favorite altcoin is Chainlink. Well, there's a lot of pairings traded with Chainlink versus Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin is impulsing up, the Chainlink Bitcoin pairing does poorly, and therefore that negatively impacts the price of Chainlink, not only due to market sentiment and money simply going to Bitcoin, but also through the pairings. So that's why you'll typically see altcoins underperform in the short term while Bitcoin is impulsing heavily. But Bitcoin going up tremendously is ultimately, over the long term, the mid to long term, a good thing for the altcoin market, because the higher Bitcoin goes up, the greater the ceiling for the altcoin market. So while Bitcoin impulsing up heavily in the short term does negatively affect the altcoin market, over the mid to long term, it raises the ceiling as to how high altcoins could go. And so ultimately, it is a good thing and just a short-term problem for the altcoin market. So for those people asking themselves, hey, Bitcoin's pumping, why isn't my favorite altcoin pumping? Well, it's because of where money's moving in the market and because of the pairings. Just understand this is a very temporary problem, and if Bitcoin is at or around 100,000, you best believe it's just a matter of time before high quality altcoins start to really perform. So folks, I don't want to make this video too long here. I just want to make it very clear that I do think at some point this around the end of this year, this bull market will come to an end, and at some point we will enter a bear market. So whether you follow my strategy or your own, have a plan to take profits, because I do think at some point, maybe in the new year, who knows, we will enter a several year long bear market. So have a plan to take profits, or at least be prepared to hold through years of a bear market. If you like the video, do not forget to like and subscribe. If you want access to our VIP disc group and our take profit strategy, then make sure you sign up today. Link is through our Patreon down in the description below. And without further ado, folks, I'm gonna wrap it up. Let me know what your Bitcoin price predictions are down in the comments below. Make sure you hit that bell icon, because we're gonna be uploading a lot more now that Bitcoin's in price discovery and things are really heating up again. And until next time, folks, take care.